Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Tuesday. So we are in the dead of winter. The water is very cold. I live here on Guntersville and we actually have some ice in the sloughs, some of the backs of the creeks. And this time of year, hopefully it won't last for very long, but when the water is super cold, I like a lot of sound in my bait. So when you think of your jig trailers, your crankbaits, you want little action, tight wobble. You don't want a whole lot of movement on those craws and whatever you're putting on the back of your jig or whatever you're putting on your Texas rig. But when it comes to sound, I want a lot of noise. And it's not just my crankbaits, but I'm also going to modify my jigs when you get water that is below 50 degrees. So I am a big XRK, the old Excalibur lipless crankbait guy. But when we have water that's 48 degrees, I really like to go to the XR. So the XRK is one big tungsten BB, and the XR is a bunch of little BBs. So if you hear this, very loud. I will also go to the Yo-Zuri, which is another one, very loud, a couple of the loudest ones that I've ever found. And then your original, if you've seen any of my videos, when I was down in Florida, I was throwing the original Bill Lewis rattle trap, very loud as well. So these are gonna be what I go to when the water is below 50 degrees. Now, if you can find fish or be able to keep a hybrid hunter in front of those fish, this is probably the loudest bait on the market right now. So I like a hybrid hunter as well. If you can keep it in the strike zone, I think that noise has a lot of drawing power. But I won't only just my hard baits. I'm also going to take the same philosophy to when I'm fishing a jig. So if you remember the old Denny Brauer Premier Pro model, I actually broke the rattle off this one, so I'm not going to be using this one anytime soon. But it came with a plastic rattle that was hooked to the back of the lead. Great for cold water. Now, you don't fish a whole lot when the water's this cold, especially your buddies. They're not coming with you when the water's this cold. This is a super frigid time of the year, but I did fish with a guy once who schooled me with that louder lipless crankbait when I was throwing the tungsten one. So I have now taken it to all philosophy. So instead of using that Denny Brauer Premier, this is a Dirty Jigs Matt Herron flipping jig. It's got a shorter shank, very similar jig to the one that I just showed you. And now what I'll do is I'll take a jig rattle. So this is just a jig rattle. It's got a little collar on it. And then I will slide that up on the jig before I add that skirt. So I will just put that up there like that. See if we can get that up there. No pressure. But I feel like any baits that I'm throwing this time of year, I want to add noise because I'm not going to get a whole lot of bites. You know, that's just the par for the course is like 5 or 6, 7, 8 bites is really strong. So if I can get that up there, then I'll take that skirt and just put that over the top of that jig rattle. I feel like that is a little bit more durable. You know, you use that other jig, you bang it against the dock, and this is mostly where I'm fishing. This is around wood, but there's your rattle. Put you a big salty chunk on the back, something to really slow that down. That's a 3/8 ounce jig, but that's what I'm going to be flipping when the water is this cold. If you want to just get a look at, that's all it is a jig rattle on a little collar. Excuse me. Feeling a little under the weather, but try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.